We're gonna talk about using Google to effectively find what you want to find. A lot of people have difficulties getting directly to what they want to get to. They kind of take a circuitous route sometimes, and so I'm gonna try to help you out with that. So we're gonna start with Google right here, the biggest search engine of them all. If you don't use Google, I would definitely recommend giving it a try. I think they account for over 80% of all search engine results. Even if you're searching on another search engine, a lot of times you're just getting Google results. So we're gonna first thing is use keywords instead of typing sentences. This is probably one of the most common things that I see people do. Don't type in an entire sentence. Many of the search engines will take out those unnecessary words for the computers, but computers don't speak in the English language. So what they're doing is just matching keywords. So the less words you give it, the more accurate your result will be. So for example, we're going to use we're going to try to find the Colts record, how many wins and losses they've had over the years. So if I did it in a sentence form, I might put, what is the Indianapolis Colts record? Okay, and I'm going to hit enter, and see I get a whole bunch of different search results right here, the Colts website, and by the way, you can see what it is right here. That's another useful thing to help find. Instead of just looking exactly at the link right here, you can see where the site is directing you to as well, so you can, that's also very useful. This is the Indy Star right here. So if we bring this up, we get a lot of information about the history, but we're not looking, it's not showing us exactly what we wanted. It's giving a breakdown of a whole lot more information. We just wanted the record. That's what happens when you type in a bunch of extra words, and a lot of times, depending on what the words are, you might get results that really aren't relevant. Keywords mean just the exact crucial word that you need, and this is what the computers use to match up. So for this example, we might want Indianapolis Colts record instead of the whole sentence. And then here we go. Now notice I didn't finish typing. Google will give you suggestions. That's all these things right here below. These are all suggestions that it's asking about. And these suggestions mean that if you see the suggestion coming up that's pretty much matching what you want, instead of typing your words, this has been searched before and it's a very likely candidate, or a hit is what we call it in computer terms. It's a likely hit. So records by year, that's exactly what we wanted, right? So Google's already guessing what we want, and if it's guessing what we want, then it guesses correctly, then it knows exactly what we want. So I'm going to click on this one, and then we get our search results right here. And Wikipedia is usually pretty good with information like this. So let's go ahead and click on this one, and there's some record information right here. And let's see here, Encyclopedia Pro Football. Let's see, and here we go. So you see, by typing the keywords, I got more directly to what I wanted instead of using sentence form. It's a much better way of doing it. Keywords, again, very important instead of typing full sentences. Also using those suggestions. So let's go back to Google, and the next thing we're going to talk about is using quotes. Let me delete this right here, and I'm going to type Nick Ellis. When you type in words, what any search engine does is matches those words just based off of whatever it has in its database. So if I type in Nick Ellis and I hit enter, I'm going to get a whole bunch of results right here. Sometimes, just because it's searching for, let's do Nick Ellis, Indianapolis. Okay, here's a good result, or here's a good example. Because it's just matching words, it's matching the word Nick to anything that it has. It's also finding the word Ellis in anything that it has, and it's finding the word Indianapolis in anything that it has. So for example, here we get this C.B. Richard Ellis and Nick Ardenberg. This is not really relevant to what we want, right? But what I'm illustrating to you is that it's just it found the word Nick in this web page, and it found the word Ellis in this web page, and it found the word Indianapolis in this web page. But we wanted Nick Ellis, like first and last name. So by using quotes, what we do is we tell it find exactly whatever is inside the quotes. So I'm going to put Nick Ellis inside the quotes, and what it's going to do is filter out, since there's no Nick Ellis in this page, it's Nick and then there's Richard. If I put this in, now notice it changed the search results. Now we only have things that have exactly Nick Ellis in here, Nick Ellis here, Nick Ellis here, etc. Nick Ellis here. So there's no Richard Ellis, no Bob Ellis, and Nick Smith. It's searching for anything that exactly has Nick Ellis. And then notice afterwards is Indianapolis. So it essentially treats this as one keyword, and then it treats this as the second keyword. Now, the very first thing that comes up says Indianapolis, and then there's some Indianapolis here, and then there's Indianapolis. There's a whole bunch of Indianapolis. But say I live in Los Angeles, and I don't want the Nick Ellis in Indianapolis, and I don't want the Nick Ellis that has anything to do with Indianapolis. Surely there's more than one Nick Ellis. Another very, very extremely useful tool that people don't know about is you can use the minus sign to take away results that are not wanted. So what I'm going to do is, if I take away this minus sign, it's going to take away anything that has the word Indianapolis in it. So now you see there's a Nick Ellis from the University of Michigan. So if there are any Nick Ellises with Indianapolis in it, it removes that. That's useful. Let's say, for example, your name is Joe Smith, and there's a really famous Joe Smith in San Francisco, but that's not the one you're looking for. You can do this minus San Francisco, and anything that has the San Francisco will be removed from the search. So that will remove hundreds and hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of search results and narrow down what you're looking for. And lastly, we're going to talk about using these images up here. Say, for example, we wanted to search for the Japanese earthquake. Okay. Now this gives us a whole bunch of things, but what if we want specifically pictures? If you look up here, you have these different categories, and these categories are very useful. You have news, shopping, videos, images. If you click images, it's only going to return images of the Japanese earthquake, and then you can click on them and make them full screen. Also, you can do the size. If you want a big picture that you need to download for a presentation or whatever, if you click the large, it only filters large pictures. And what we mean by large pictures, if you click on it and then we click on this full size over here, this picture is a very large resolution picture that we can zoom in on and see lots of detail with. Small pictures you can't zoom in on very far because there's not a lot of information there. And lastly, let's go back to here, and we'll use the Japanese earthquake again. There's obviously a lot of news about the Japanese earthquake. If we do over here, past 24 hours, this time thing over here is very, very useful. You can do custom range, so you can do between certain dates, you can do the past year, etc. So this is useful for a number of situations. So if you want to find something and it's giving you 10,000 results, but you know it happened within the last 24 hours, if you do this, then you're going to narrow those search results down a whole lot and get a lot more what you want. So let's just review. We have we type keywords instead of whole sentences. We use the suggestions whenever they're appropriate. Use quotes to find literal meanings or literal strings of phrases. Minuses to filter out words that we don't want. And then obviously any combination of those works just fine. Then you can use the Google Advanced Search Results right here to sort by time. There's a lot more, but I don't want to overwhelm and make the video really long. And then these images and these things across the top are very useful as well. So I hope you guys have found this useful, and happy surfing.